Good afternoon, everybody. Just wanted to toss together a real quick tutorial here. And this is actually more in line with troubleshooting than a tutorial per se. I'm going to start doing kind of a micro series, which will be under a playlist, probably titled Flutterflow Troubleshooting or something along those lines. Going over various problems that you might encounter and how to quickly identify what that issue is without spending too much time uh, beating your head over how to narrow down the problem. Now, this particular issue that I'm going to show you right now was an issue that a subscriber was having. By no means am I'm not knocking that subscriber. Everybody encounters problems, and sometimes it takes a second pair of eyes to look at it and know exactly what's going on. I totally get that. As I've done various app development, web development, back-end development over the several years leading up to this point, there have been times that I had to have someone lay eyes on what I was doing because I've been staring at it so long that I just could not figure out for the life of me what I was doing wrong, and it ended up being a pretty simple fix. So don't feel stupid if you encounter something where you feel like it should have been obvious, because we all get to that point where essentially we get writer's block and can't figure out what to do to fix the problem. So in any case, again, these tutorials will be just kind of going over identifying problems and how to quickly resolve them. So this particular problem we're looking at here, obviously I'm in test mode. And this would be a user's friends list, which would be a data field inside the user's collection that is set to a list, and then it's titled friends, and it's referencing the user's collection. And so we've gone over that a couple of times in other tutorials and how to reference that using the dynamic children's variable to pull in the data that you're looking for. And so that's what I've done here, and I'll show you the back end also. But in any case, so right now what I'm showing is I've got my friends list here, and I'm showing one of my friends that's in my friends list as John Doe. But I also have two other friends that I have in my friends list that are not showing up, and that's what these pulsating circles represent. So I actually have two more friends that should be displayed here, but right now they're just showing up as loading icons. It's not showing anything here. And so this is a pretty straightforward fix if you think in terms of kind of what you're looking for. So let me slide this out of the way real quick. And let me go up here. All right, so that's the page I'm working on. So first, obviously, I'm not throwing any errors here. Everything is good to go. I've got a warning, but that is of zero relevance here. So if I were to try and deploy the app into test mode or whatever, it would let me know that it had trouble deploying because I had an error, but I don't have any errors. My code is set up correctly. Nothing's wrong here. So what that tells me, and pretty quickly, is that the issue that I'm having is probably something happening within my collections themselves, related to Firebase or whatever backend that I'm using, that it's not something wrong with my code. So that would be the very first thing that I would look at is, okay, is there something wrong with my reference tags? When the subscriber that brought forward this issue to me, we're not entirely sure how the issue occurred, if they accidentally deleted something and didn't realize it, or if something just got mixed up in the process during their testing. That does happen. Remember, Flutterflow is not 100% perfect, neither is Firebase. Sometimes you'll have issues that'll pop up that'll seem really strange. You won't understand why they're happening. And I would love to be able to tell everyone this is what caused that, but sometimes we just don't know. But the best thing we can do is figure out how to fix it. So in any case, as previously noted, all of this is set up just along the lines of how I've set it up previously. I'm using the generating children from variable. I have my variable name set to friends list, and then I'm generating my friends list data field, which is a list of users inside the authenticated user document. And I'm mapping list items and then item and lists. We've gone over this several times, so if you haven't seen that, you can check out some of the other tutorials to know how that works, specifically looking at the tutorial, what's the difference between dynamic children and backend query. That'll tell you what we're doing here. So that's how I'm generating the list of friends, and then of course I would go here to my each user card, and I would do a, I'm sorry, I guess I've got it. Yeah, I've got it on the row there. Got it on the row, and I did a backend query document from reference users, and then I selected that friend list item that I generated when I did the child query. So that gets me the each individual user. So all of that is set up correctly again, no errors, no problems. So that's obviously not my issue. So what I would initially look at, and of course this is what I did when this issue was brought to me, and so I was able to fix it really quickly within a few minutes because I knew exactly what was going on here, and it's definitely a backend query issue. So looking at this, pulling this back up here real quick, if my initial question to the subscriber was, do you have data in your collection? Do you have data in this field to be pulling something? And of course they said, yes, they do. They have 3 users in that friend list. So seeing the loading icons indicates that the query is looking for something. It's seeing, it's attempting to see a user, but it's not pulling that user's data for some reason. Something's not quite right, that it's not getting that information. If there wasn't 3 users in that data field, if it was only 1 user, you wouldn't have these loading icons here. So this is a clear indication that there are 3 users in that field, but something is wrong with user number 2 and user number 3. So I would go over here to my management here, my Firestore data manager that you can access through Flutterflow. And I've got my users collection here. This is the user that I'm logged in as currently. And these are the 3 users that I have added as friends. And there's my friends list data field. And there are the 3 users that I've got added in there. All right, so just taking a look at that, maybe you can pick out the problem real quick. If you take a look at these 3, this is all you need to worry about. None of this other stuff's filled out, just this stuff here. And then if you go in here and take a look at our friend list here and look at this, and perhaps you can identify the issue pretty quickly. What I usually do, if I'm encountering this particular issue, I will obviously come here first. I will look at the list. I'll make sure that there are, ensure that there is actually data in here, which again, that loading icon indicates to me that there is. But that's not always 100% true, because you could encounter a bug that causes things to glitch, and then you're looking at it kind of a different issue, but that's not the problem here. So what I'm going to do then is I'm actually going to check the user IDs, the document IDs, against the users in the collection, and without referencing the entire string here. And this becomes increasingly difficult as you have more users in the collection, but when you're dealing with a small amount specifically in testing, it's a lot easier. And what I usually do is I look at the last 3 characters of the string. And so XOC, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to look. Do I have an XOC at the end of any of these? No, I do not. I do not have an XOC. I do have an XOC right here, but 9XV is not included in the rest of that string. So there are characters missing from this document ID. And then of course that tells me right away that that's the issue. So then I can go in here, I can look B, or looks like S5I. So I can look in here. I don't see an S5I at the end. I do see it right here, S5I YZF, but YZF is missing. And then R5B, since that one is showing up correctly, it should be in here, which it is, R5B. So these 2 users, for some reason, their document ID is not completed all the way out. Now, I obviously did that on purpose. I deleted those last 3 characters to make it throw an error in test mode. But when that subscriber came to me, the document IDs were not present. The entire ID was not actually in the collection. So to fix that, you just delete those, and then just tap here to copy the ID, go back in here, and add the item. And then, of course, I don't think that's the one I just copied. Oh, whoops, yeah, I already got that one, shoot. 9xvr5b, so 9xvr5b, so it's this one that I want. Okay, so now I've got the correct document IDs in that list field. So now we can go back to our test, and you can see, well, they don't have pictures assigned to them. That's why that's throwing that. But now you can see that they showed up here, Carl Doe and Jane Doe, because I have the correct IDs set in that field. Now, whenever you have a live app going on and you're adding friends within the UI, all of that should add correctly. But always expect something to go wrong. And so let's say you've got a live app and you've got a user saying, hey, I'm adding friends, but they're not showing up. I'm just getting loading circles. You grab that particular user's ID or their screen name, email, whatever you want to be able to locate them quickly. And then you come in there and you search their friends list and you make comparisons against who they're supposed to be friends with to be able to figure out the problem. So that is the quick and easy for resolving that issue. So if you ever encounter that, you've got loading circles, and whether it's a friends list or it's any other type of data list field, if you're getting loading circles where you should be getting data, go in and make sure that the document IDs are correct. That would be the first step. And I would say 9 out of 10 times that's going to be your problem. So, all right, that's it for this one. I've got another one coming up here in just a second. No, I'll go ahead and get this one posted.